best we can.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the 13th chapter of the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Some people told Jesus about the Galileans whose blood Pilate had mingled with the blood of their sacrifices. Jesus said to them in reply, "Do you think that because these Galileans suffered in this way, they were greater sinners than all other Galileans? By no means. But I tell you, if you do not repent, you will all perish as they did. Or those 18 people who were killed when the Tower of Siloam fell on them. Do you think they were more guilty than everyone else who lived in Jerusalem? By no means. But I tell you, if you do not repent, you will all perish as they did." And he told them this parable. There once was a person who had a fig tree planted in his orchard, and when he came in search of fruit on it, but found none, he said to the gardener, "For 3 years now I have come in search of fruit on this fig tree, but have found none. So cut it down. Why should it exhaust the soil?" He said to him in reply, "Sir, leave it for this year also, and I shall cultivate the ground around it and fertilize it. It may bear fruit in the future. If not, you can cut it down." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Father, you say, you've outdone yourself with a prop. We'll get to that. Moses, take off your sandals. You are on holy ground. And so it is that we gather here collectively every weekend and recognize that we are a church, a people of God, always in need of transformation, always reforming, and ever attentive to conveying the mission of Jesus Christ. And so it is, we can look at 100 years of our parish. In that time, there have been 2 church structures. The one we are in now, since 1964, and the one that was built and worshipped at from 1913 until the time this church was raised. Each serving the people of God for 50 years each, holy ground for many generations and families. So many masses celebrated with the sacraments as well of baptism, confirmation, how many first communions, how many weddings, how many funerals, gathering Sunday after Sunday, season after season, holy days after holy days. The 2 church structures have served us well, and they are reminders of our need to lift our mind and hearts to God. It's all about lifting our minds and hearts in an atmosphere of the sacred. Yes, when we enter, we come into a special holy place. Like Moses, we symbolically take off our sandals when we enter. Men take off their hats. We enter a quieting place. We whisper, or we are just quiet in the presence of God so we can hear God's voice. We bless ourselves with holy water as we enter this holy place. We genuflect, acknowledging the special presence of Jesus Christ in the tabernacle, And then we engage in conversation with God. Our sanctuary, our holy place, is indeed a special place. It's like no other building we might enter. It's not a gymnasium. It's not an amphitheater. It's not a stage. It's a place apportioned in a special way to set it apart. Over time, there have been a lot of external changes in our sanctuary. Some of us go back far enough to remember Vatican II in the mid-60s. At the time the church was built, the altar was against the wall, that wall. And the pews came all the way up to about where the celebrant's chair is. You're not in the front pew. 50 years ago, you'd have been right there. The pews all came forward. So there were some changes made. The altar eventually was moved out closer. This large platform was extended so we could be closer to both word and sacrament, because these were all way back. Other changes that were made was the Blessed Sacrament was then placed over to the side. Things changed. The wall came up later because there was a thought we needed to have a place that was a little more gathering. And so on the other side of the wall became the daily chapel space, which was quickly too small. And so right now on the other side of the wall, there's basically just a big space, as it hasn't been used for a long, long time. So now we're taking a new look. We're taking a new look for a number of different reasons. Some changes we've already made, and perhaps we didn't even recognize them. Do you know that the lighting we presently have in church is 6 times brighter than it was a year ago? 6 times brighter. And some of us still say, boy, it's dark in here. And did you recognize that we've done the same to the entryway? 6 times brighter. We also moved the baptistry area, which was more of an impediment for us to gather, and we've created a little different space, and even a crucifix is now placed in the back. It's from Jerusalem. And now we're taking a look because a committee was formed 2 years ago. Because as a pastor, I know there's 2 things you don't do. Big mistake if you do this as a pastor. The first one I was forced to do, and that is change the Mass schedule. The second one is even more verboten. Don't move the furniture. Well, after 2 years of constant conversation with so many people and artists and liturgy folks, and trying to make an even more holy, uplifting worship space, we've come up with another plan. It's involved everything from the Liturgical Commission at the Archdiocese to the Committee of Worship Space, to the Administrative Council, the Pastoral Council. We brought in so many artisans and contractors, people who were lighting experts, engineers, people who know sound and electrical work, and all kinds of people in interior design. And there was a big step made. The first one was we have a corpus that came from Italy 2 weeks ago. And then we found someone in the parish, lots of craftsmen, to prepare a suitable cross. So now that you look at the cross, you're all going to say something. It's too low. And I'm going to say, no, it's not too low. We've got a wall here. Next step is to remove the wall, because the wall hasn't accomplished a lot. And now we're going to have a huge space. I want you to think about this. From this front pew where you are sitting to the glass doors that you come into, that's as big a space as between the front pew and that main wall. This will be the largest sanctuary except for St. Peter Basilica. But we're going to do something about this space. It's going to be very flexible. It will be overflow crowd. The choir will have more space. There will be places for the altar servers to get lost in. But we have a lot of interior decorating to complete. We'll be painting. We'll be replacing the carpet. By the way, the carpet has gone about 3 to 5 years beyond its life expectancy. So that's going to be replaced. We'll worry about yours later, under you. But that needs to be taking place. And also we've had some wiring and some electrical that have also extended beyond the lifetime. And so that is all being accomplished in the process of all of this change. I would ask you to spend some good time praying about it and look at the pictures in the back. We have a CAD drawing of what we envision the final product being, where we would place things like the Blessed Sacrament, the two beautiful statues we have in the back of the Sacred Heart and the Blessed Mother. The place of the tabernacle is very important. The visibility when you come into church of seeing the beauty of this crucifix, which will become an icon, I hope, and the arrangement of what St. Henry is. When you come in here, you'll say, ah, that was St. Henry. That's an important piece. Banners and decor will be able to go crazy because we're going to be putting up various kinds of pulley systems to accommodate that as well. The altar and the ambo will essentially stay here, but underneath all of this flooring that we will be fixing, there will be places for sound and electrical and things that will work, and better lighting. By the way, there's no lighting and sound on the other side of that wall, so if you've ever been here on an overflow day like Palm Sunday, Ash Wednesday, Christmas, or Easter, when you're back there, you can not only not see anything, you can't hear anything. Yet we gave you credit for being here. And now the overflow will be right in the middle of the sanctuary. And that's okay. People of God need to be looking at other people of God. So the folks on the side are looking across. You are looking at the wall. Now you're going to be looking at people up here too. That's a good thing. So I just want you to take a good look again at the CAD drawing in the back. Pray about it, because we've already decided that some deferred maintenance makes up about $15,000 of this whole project. And the other $15,000 is what we need to raise to complete the project. We've already got $18,000 in. So we're doing pretty well, but I just want you to invest as well into this burning bush, that when we come into church, we will feel, wow, this is a holy place. I really do feel like I need to take off my sandals, take off the sandals that don't allow me to see the presence of God in this holy place. So that's my prayer. You'll find, because I've always been an administrator, you'll find some envelopes for your perusal as well in the back of church called Sanctuary Fund. And we do need your help to complete this wonderful project, all for the honor and glory of God.